And the next thing I knew, I got a call and said, we're coming to Johnstown, we're coming to Evansburg. And today it's our real pleasure to announce that the Gamesa manufacturing facility to manufacture wind turbine generator blades will be right here in Evansburg, right here in South Park Complex on the 21 acres. There will be 500 construction jobs right here, a $40 million investment by Gamesa. There will be 250 roughly permanent, good-paying manufacturing jobs in the plant that we're going to build right here in the West Park Complex. Think of the multiplier effect, because this plant will need to buy goods and products and services from businesses all around the Johnstown, Cambria community, all around the southern Alleghenies.
And when you think about what's happening here, you're thinking about manufacturing jobs coming rather than leaving. We've lost so many manufacturing jobs. This is really a great day. Whatever the estimate of 150 or 200 or 300 jobs will be multiplied by 3 or 4. So this is as significant as anything can happen.
Well, first, we were really proactive. We didn't just sit and wait to see if the offer would come to us. We went after it. And I went to Spain directly and knocked on the door. But when I came back and said, you know, I think we have a shot at this, one of the first people to show up and roll up his sleeves was Mike Kane.
Secretary McGinney said that there was this Spanish windmill company, and did anybody know any sites where they might locate in Pennsylvania? So I said, sure. And we talked a little bit about the project, and consequently she asked if I would help be on this ad hoc committee she was forming, made up of DEP and DCED and the Governor's Action Team. There was a representative from the PUC and some private sector folks. And we came up with a couple ways to sell Gamesa on Pennsylvania. Once the activity in Harrisburg was sort of fully underway, and we're talking to the utilities and we're sharing market information, it became apparent that we needed to involve the local community here in Johnstown, and that's when we talked to Jari, and Jari got involved.
We heard about the project through Mike Kane, who at the time was working on a DEP committee and had heard about the effort that DEP was undertaking to try to bring Gamesa to Pennsylvania. One of the things that Jari did, I think, at the front end of the project, which was very helpful, was that we put together a sort of a committee or a group of people that would be able to help us get through some of the issues related to a foreign company coming into our region.
The Congressman's office, the Senator's office, the state representatives, the various economic development organizations, pretty much everybody came on board and understood and appreciated that these opportunities are they are in the rare air. You don't get many like this that can have such a dramatic impact on the economic fiber of the region.
Everybody was there working together to make this a community effort, to really show Gamesa that the community was engaged and the community wanted to have Gamesa here.
Because of my role as mayor in Johnstown and my interest in the region, I was asked to participate as one of the key people talking with the folks from Gamesa, and it was a delightful experience. Most gracious people, very astute in terms of what they were looking for, and again, I think our team did several rehearsals. We prepared well. We defined roles and responsibilities, and we had the right partners at the table, and I think we made a first-class presentation on why this was the right location for their business in North America.
We were able to host Gamesa and their consulting engineers, EDM, here several times during the course of a 6-month period of time. We were able to showcase several sites throughout the region, and in fact, we actually evaluated brownfield and greenfield sites throughout Cambria and Somerset County, including sites in the city of Johnstown and Franklin Borough, in Somerset County at the North Star Park, in Cambria Township at the site that was ultimately selected, as well as in Richland Township at the Jari Business Park site. All of that was really compiled and put together into a book that we presented both to Gamesa and to their consulting engineers for their review. We really helped prepare the state and the Department of Environmental Protection in particular for their first initial presentation to Gamesa, and we actually prepared a booklet or a presentation for them to make for that initial visit with Gamesa officials. One of the things we decided early on was to hire Latin Trade Solutions, a consulting firm that specializes in dealing with Spanish-speaking countries. And the whole idea was to make sure that we knew how to best present ourselves to the Spanish people that we were dealing with. One of the things we decided to do was to actually do a video in Spanish.
El comercio es importante, vital en la región de Johnstown, y queremos que Gamesa se sienta bienvenida, tal como lo hicimos con Martin Baker America Incorporated.
I think everybody here was determined to get Martin Baker to set up in Johnstown. They really wanted us here.
It turns out that the president of Gamesa is also on the board of a not-for-profit, small not-for-profit advanced R&D organization in Spain, very similar to CTC, much smaller but very similar, and he was fascinated by the breadth and the depth of CTC and the ability for us to work with them.
Let's talk to the utilities about their interest in perhaps committing to purchase or to negotiate to purchase X amount of megawatts of wind power. And that eventually went right through the Secretary's office, and First Energy stepped up and the other utilities stepped up and made some commitments. And I think Gamesa was very impressed with that. Our Sustainable Energy Fund Advisory Board, and then consequently, of course, the Community Foundations Board, which ultimately approves all the projects, really put together an aggressive package to help attract Gamesa to our state and to our region.
Our senior scientist and our COO went over to Spain to meet with all the Gamesa folks, their senior people and their technical people, to show the kind of technologies we could help them with if they came to this area.
I was able to visit Spain and visit Gamesa in Madrid and really hit home on all of the points that we'd made in prior meetings. In addition, Cambria Township supervisors, Cambria commissioners, and Central Cambria School District came together and enacted a LERTA ordinance, which is a tax abatement for 5 years for the company. And that was really a key thing that was asked for during that visit to Spain that I had with them.
JARI is the key. I can bring companies in. The governor can bring companies in, but there's always settling the details of what they want to do. There's all kinds of competition worldwide for these jobs. We're talking about an international company that could have gone any place. So JARI was a very important part of this whole thing.
JARI was at the table with us from the beginning, and I have to say, with no exaggeration, there was nothing that I could ask for that JARI said, that's too much, or we can't deliver on time.
No community was as coordinated as the Johnstown community was when it came to pulling this off. I mean, obviously, Gamesa went to a lot of locations across the state. Johnstown area, Cambria County in particular, was the most coordinated, and I give JARI all the credit for that.
I think this is a wonderful story about the Johnstown area and the quality of the workforce and the supply chain is here. It's another big part of this is that Gamesa believes that they're going to be able to get all of the supply services and products that they need to make a very complex product like that. And I think that that set of assets is not something that exists everywhere.
The difference that JARI made was a very proactive approach. Your team was extremely active and dynamic in approaching Gamesa from the very start, providing all the information to them that they needed within 24, 48 hours typically. And that made a very big difference for them.
I think the most significant factor associated with this entire project was the cooperation and collaboration that occurred between government and the private sector and between different levels of government and between the economic development organizations led by JARI and the units of government in this region.
As this process was ongoing and as we were getting feedback from Gamesa and from the state people, one of the things that just astounded me is the number of times they said, boy, are you guys organized. you're really putting together, you're really impressing people. You are putting together a unified package. And the first couple times I heard it, I kind of wondered, it was nice to hear and everything, but then I began to realize that there really was something to this, because we kept hearing it again and again. And I think one of the things with the video that Jari produced and the way the mayor and Dan DeVos and others went down to Harrisburg when we all went down there, the fact that everybody was really pitching in together, there were no turf wars, there was nobody trying to stand in front to take credit or anything like that, was really a testimony to everybody had the same end in mind, which was really to let this company know how much they'd be valued to be here.
I think we're on the way back. Since last November, we are up over 1,000 jobs in the Johnstown metropolitan area. We've got to keep that progress going. I think we can. I think this is a new day. This was the industrial heart of Pennsylvania, the industrial heart of America. Manufacturing is not dead in Pennsylvania. Manufacturing is very much alive, and manufacturing is on its way back here in Johnstown.
The opportunity here to bring other companies in a similar way to rebirth our manufacturing sector is so important to this region, and we're rebirthing it on a technology basis. It's a high-tech, manufacturing-based economy which will go well into the future. So the support for Jari for continuation of these kinds of efforts is very important.
And it just spells, you know, some success, which creates momentum, and you have to believe that this is a good place to do business. And much like the Forbes magazine article here several months ago that talked about, you know, these folks have figured it out, they work together, they prioritize, and they speak with one voice, and as a result, they make it easier for the state and federal government to augment and complement what we're trying to get done by providing funding for some of our key priorities.
And I think that this is a good opportunity for Gamesa. It's a great opportunity for the community, and it's a great opportunity for all of us. So thank you very much for everything.
To Gamesa, this is an opportunity to develop the industrial activity here, but in my opinion also is a huge opportunity to Pennsylvania to develop the main wind industry in the States. Then thank you very much, and I think as a new member, as the Western Pennsylvania, with the atmosphere that you are explaining me, I think I am obliged to say, go Steelers. It's not for the